Good morning, West Coast. Good afternoon, East Coast. Hello to everybody in between and outside. It's Ian the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great Sunday. It's Sunday yet again. Seems like we do this, what, 52 times a year? Is that right? Something like that? I don't know. Close enough. Hope everybody's having a great day. Miss Brown is here. Gloria's here. Jonathan is in and out, he says. He's doing some stuff today, so he's going to be in and out. Shelby's here. Layla's here. Margot's here. Who else do we have? Danielle, Sherry, Love Loathingly. I already said Shelby. Hi, guys. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're having a great Sunday. Yeah. Let's see. Denise is here. Hey, hello, Ian, and to all of us. Hello, Savannah's here as well. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you guys for being here. Memphis in the house, says Creative Cats. Let's see. Margot says, yay, I'm up for some fun. I finally joined your Facebook group. I thought I already had, but now I'm in. Awesome, Margot. I'm so glad that you did that. Also, if you are not a member of the Facebook group, there's the link to the Facebook group. If you'd like to join, if you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You can always email me anything that you want me to maybe highlight in a future video. You can do that as well. But if you do have Facebook, you can join then. Donna Hopskin is here. Good to see you. Melissa is here. Melissa, I think Melissa, if I remember correctly, you posted in Becca's Facebook group photos of your progress, if I remember correctly. She's going on the Alaskan cruise with us, and she has been doing her homework, getting ready for the Alaskan cruise. So I think that's her. Katie's here as well. Katie gave me a hard time because I had fat fingers when I typed up the, y'all know I don't create these events until like minutes before I go live, and I fat fingered it and put an extra A where it should not have been. So she texted me and was like, what's a fata quarter? Fata quarter fancy. I'm like, I don't know. That's what you get with fat fingers. So anywho, yes, okay, it was you, Melissa. I'm glad I saw your progress. I'm very happy that you're doing the homework. Jonathan, I don't know what Jonathan's doing. I don't know how far along Jonathan's doing. No shade to Jonathan. You know I joke in good fun. Let's see. Math Geek says this is a great pattern. I cheated and used 10-inch and 5-inch squares without trimming, so nothing had to line up. Hey, that's okay. That is okay. Yeah. The Alaskan cruise is coming up. If you didn't know, Alaskan cruise is coming up. I actually watched a YouTube video. I was watching it. I worked on the penny quilt a bit this morning. I felt inspired and wanted to work on it, and so I got some more. I'm 2 blocks away from getting all the blocks that I need done. So I was sitting here at the sewing machine earlier this morning, and I put on a YouTube video of the ship tour of the Celebrity Edge, which is what we're going to be on. So that way I can start familiarizing myself with the ship before I ever step foot on it. YouTube is the best thing ever, because like you can take a tour of just about anywhere. Auntie L says, hello from the ICU. I have a big blood clot in my lungs. Gonna have a procedure to remove it. Auntie L, I hope that everything goes smoothly. I am so sorry to hear that you are not feeling well at the moment. So hopefully everything goes well, and thoughts to you. Yeah, hope it all goes well, and so sorry to hear that. It's really sad. No one enjoys time in the hospital, but at least you're here with us now, right? Like, at least this could be a few hours of escape while you were there. Lisa says, will the Seattle meetup happen before or after the cruise? I would love to join. It is going to be after. It's going to be after the cruise. I would go ahead and mark your calendars for September 5th. Just putting that out there. More than likely, it will happen on September 5th. More details come very, very soon. I've got one more thing that I've got to check and make sure. But as far as I know, mark your calendars for September 5th. Just block out the whole day. Because we have a time, we have a place, but there's going to be like an RSVP that you have to do. So just putting that out there. Putting it out there. Also coming up on the what did I say? The 22nd, my notes somewhere. We have, if you are a channel member, the 22nd, I think it is the 22nd. Somebody corrected it. It's on my website. Go over to my website. It's on the calendar. If you are a member here on my channel, excuse me, if you're a member here on my channel, you get access to the Zoom that happens quarterly. And that's when the next one's going to be, because I'm going to be packing. So I'm going to start the Zoom up and I'm going to be in and out because I'm going to be packing mostly. So if you are a channel member, you can join that. If you are not a channel member and you want to be, you can click the join button down below. I think it works on all platforms now. You should be able to click the join button and you will be able to, hi Liz, it is. Hi Ian the Amazing. Stab it. You can join it. You can join the membership if you'd like. And that way you get access to the Zoom that's coming up later this month. So there you go. What else? Like I said, I was working on the penny quilt earlier and got that. I'm 2 blocks away from getting all the blocks. I felt like there was something else. So I had somebody comment, and I think they were commenting that they didn't like that I had that minute at the beginning of each broadcast. That's kind of like, you know, what am I trying to say? I don't think they liked that minute of nothingness that happens for my intro and stuff like that. But guys, that's so important to me because first of all, I want to sync everything up and make sure that I don't just dive right in. And sometimes this internet signal takes a moment to get to your systems. And so it could end up throwing you in the middle of a sentence. And I don't want to do that. So I want everything to like calibrate and get out the signal to get pushed and all that kind of stuff. So and also with the minute that I have before I get started, I realized I had fabric and stuff sitting on that shelf right there. And so I had to like run and grab that and throw it on the floor. So that minute is actually really important to me. It helps me get kind of in the zone and set up and everything. And also I do one final check to make sure that everything's working. All the lights have come on because when I push the go button, it turns on all the lights and all the things. So it's actually really important for me to have that like last second check to make sure that everything's working. So if anybody was ever wondering why there's that minute delay, that is why. That is why that minute delay is there. Zaza's here and in the house. Good to see you, Zaza. I'm sure that, let's see. What? Liz it is says, okay, I know I'm tired, but it really sounded like you said you started the pantry quilt. Well, I did not start the pantry quilt. I started the penny quilt. I was working on the penny quilt this morning. And it's not like the news bloopers that said check your panties when the teleprompter meant pantries. So there's that blooper out there. If you ever are watching news bloopers, that's one of the funniest ones. Check your panties. I think it meant to say pantries. Anywho, thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. Judy says the intro was great. It gives me that like last minute, you know, so there we go. All right, what are we working on today? We are going to be working from a free pattern today. It is called the Fat Quarter Fancy pattern. It is linked down in the description of this video, and I'm also going to drop a link here in chat as well. This is a free pattern. There is a printable PDF if you want to pay for that. I think it's like $5 or something like that. There is a paid downloadable PDF version, but I literally just printed off what they had on the webpage because you can do that. It is a free pattern and it looks like this when it's all said and done. It uses some, let's see, some, so this one says it takes 9 fat quarters, but I'm not going to use 9 fat quarters. I'm actually using 20 fat quarters. So I'm going to make this quilt a little bit bigger because I had 20 fat quarters. And what were those fat quarters? Well, my friends, I looked over on my shelf and there has been a fat quarter bundle of 20 pieces that has been sitting there basically since I moved to Virginia. It's been sitting on that shelf and hasn't been used. And I said, you know what? Let's pull it off the shelf and let's use it. So we're going to do that. And what fabric am I going to be using today? Well, I'm so glad that you asked because this is an OOP, like OOP. This is very much out of print. OOP stands for out of print, by the way. This is the True Colors line by Tula Pink. And I'm not talking about like her current True Colors, which are, you know, the repeatable prints that she puts out kind of in stock all the time. I'm not talking about that True Colors. I'm talking like the original True Colors, right? So today we are going to be using the original True Colors from Tula Pink to make this quilt. So it's going to be really, really pretty. Lots of fun. I almost didn't want to cut into this fabric, but I did. I cut the good fabric this week. Can you believe that? I cut into the really, really good fabric this week. And so what we're going to be doing, since this is a free pattern, I can tell you about it. But please go online, take a look at the pattern, go visit the website. The link is down in the description and here in chat. Give that creator the internet traffic that they deserve for creating this pattern. But it uses 9 by 9 inch squares for your fat quarters. And then it also uses 4 by 3/4 squares. And that's what we're going to be using today. For my background fabric today, I am keeping it in the Tula family, and I am going to use Fairy Dust. Fairy Dust? This one's Fairy Dust, not Fairy Flakes. I'm going to be using this Fairy Dust fabric that is kind of this cream color. Now she has several different ones. There are some that has like a more grayish background. I'm going to be using the warmer tones because it matches more with this fabric. So there you go. Let's see. Zaza says very pretty. Liz it is says, does Tulisha know your fabric you're using? She does not. She does not know the fabric that I'm using today. So there's that. Let's see. There we go. Math Geek says the creator Caroline has a lot of patterns on her site. So can she. SEW can she. She does. She has a lot of great patterns on there. So go give her the internet traffic she deserves. This is a free pattern. I'm telling you how to do it because it is a free pattern. But go give her the internet traffic that she deserves and the credit that she deserves, because we should all be crediting our pattern designers. So this is what we're going to be making today. I'm going to make it a little bigger. I will have to add a fill square into it because I'm short 1 square. So I've got to figure out where that square is going to fit in, and I got to figure out what fabric I'm going to use because I don't know. I don't have any yardage of this fabric. I literally just have the fat quarters. So I'll have to figure out where I'm going to put the Lizardis says, I called dibs on this quilt. I'm going to have to figure out what fabric I'm going to use and where I'm going to use it. But this is going to be super easy. This is really an easy pattern because all we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our large squares. We're going to take our smaller square of fabric. We're going to pop it into one corner down there, just like that. And we're going to sew corner to corner. That's all we're doing. So this entire broadcast is going to be me sewing corner to corner. And that's the live stream today, guys. That is the live stream today. And actually, I may go grab some more line tape. I don't know. Maybe I can do it without it. We'll see. So welcome to the live stream, everyone. This is going to be us doing this to every single square. And then guess what? Actually, you know what? Okay, all right. I will do one so that way you can see the results. I will do one. You know what? That's a good idea. Let's do one. So we do that in the top or the bottom, whatever corner that was, and then we do it diagonally to that. So we're gonna put the other one over here just like this. So we have our 2 diagonals, right? And so now I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna line this up with my. I really need to take a piece of tape, of the washi tape, and go all the way to the edge. If it's not perfect, it does not matter. No, it does not matter. Put those there. Put these here. Hi, Banana Joe. Good to see you. Grab my ruler. Warm my iron back up because it went to sleep. So I'm going to cut this 1/4 inch from the edge. Now, if I wanted to, we have these triangles cutoffs, and I could, yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that, Liz. It is. She says, if you can sew 2 lines, you have a ready-made half square triangle. Absolutely. But these, my friend, are going to go in the scraps that I am going to be sending to other people because I cannot be bothered to do that. However, if you are crafty like that and want to make 2 lines, sew 2 lines, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Right, exactly, Layla. Layla's like, don't forget to make your bonus half square triangles. Yes, absolutely. I'm not doing it. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Liz says, me. Actually, you know what I could do is I wonder how many of these it would take to make up a whole block. Because what I could do is I could make that extra block that I don't have out of these. I could do that. I could do that, couldn't I? Decisions. Anywho, I'm going to press this. I'm going to press this just like so. There we go. All right, so we have completed 1 block. Like that's how quickly this goes together, and we can rotate it any direction here. Like that's just how quickly it goes. It goes together. Oh, okay. I'll check it out, Liz. It is. She says she emailed me a funny reel about Buc-ee's. I'll have to look at it. Savannah says, ding, ding, ding. That's a wonderful idea. Maybe that's what we will do. That's what we will do. Diagonal or parallel, same difference. Close enough. So what I will do is I will take one of these. There we go. I will take one of these and I will make a half square triangle out of it. I will indeed. Because then I can use these to make that extra block that I need, right? Sharita says, beautiful fabric choices, so pretty. I love this one. Send the cutoffs to Tiffany, she'll take them for sure. Joan, I don't know if she will, because I have heard a rumor she's not accepting scraps anymore. So I don't know. I could always call her and be like, hey Tiffany, do you want these? This is what our half square triangle looks like, by the way. Right there, just like that. I think using the extras as a center block to rotate, to radiate from. Oh, maybe that's an idea. That's an idea right there. Could do that as well. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't also, what I can do is I can make some half square triangles that are the, this block and then some, or this fabric and then some that are this fabric. And then I could also take some and make just the design, the pattern fabric, not the fairy dust. So there's, ideas are a-flowing. But anywho, for now though, we are going to chain piece them. We are going to chain piece them together, and that's the live stream today. Because we have one block done, and we're just going to chain piece them together. I am going to grab my, what is this called? Center tape? Line tape? I don't know what it's called. But I'm going to go to the very edge of my table here. If I can find the end. There it is. I'm just going to put it right over the line that was started, and I'm going to go all the way to the edge of my table, so that way I have a line that goes all the way to the edge. Make a block of all the true color fabrics only as your centerpiece. I may end up doing that. I may absolutely do that. So how's everybody's week been? What have you been up to? What have you been working on? What have you done? I watched The Devil Wears Prada 2 this week. Been wanting to see that, but I didn't want to go to the theater. I hate going to the movie theaters, to be honest. So I ended up watching it at home and thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed it very much. Some people didn't like it, but I liked it. I thought it was good. Everybody's chatting with each other, making sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. So yeah, this shouldn't take too long, but I do have a lot of pieces to work through, because remember, I got 4 pieces out of each fat quarter. So got a whole bunch of fabric to work with today. So we'll see how far we end up getting. Matt says, just finished quilting my American vintage quilt with 2026 squares in a square blocks. So many pieces. Oh my goodness. We may have to postpone the cruise. Why is that? I don't know if he's being sarcastic or if he's being serious. Hard for me to tell sometimes. Yeah, so I watched The Devil Wears Prada this week. It was good. Enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Let's see. Math Geek Shelby says she made a small friendship star quilt with my own setting. Oh, very cool. Karen says I have been working on the Tools of the Trade bag to hold my tools when I'm on a retreat. Binding it today. Excellent. Oh, so I can finish my outfits. Oh, got it, Jonathan. Got it. Yeah, I'm sure Celebrity will absolutely put the cruise on hold. Totally. Totally happen. 100%. Melody says, late but here. Guys, what do I always tell people? What do I always tell people when they say they're late? Say it in the chat with me. We need pics of you in all those outfits, Jonathan, right? I know. I saw Chris from Rose City Originals. He posted that they have taken the paper down off the windows of his brand new store in Portland. And he is aiming for a Labor Day weekend opening, which is funny because I'm going to be on the West Coast, like so close, but yet so far. But yeah, very close to Portland, but just not quite there. So anywho, he's going to have a grand store opening on the weekend of Labor Day weekend. So if you are in the Portland area, I would highly recommend heading over to his brand new store. It's looking gorgeous. It's looking beautiful. It's giving chic. And I can't wait for the opening festivities to happen. That's right, Shelby. No one's ever late for the live stream. I'm actually going to bring these closer so I'm not having to reach as far for my squares. Oops. I handed off my quilts and quilted jacket to Layla this week. She's going to be kind enough to drop everything off for me while I am out of town. So thank you, Layla, again for that. I met Cinder, which was wonderful. Cute little puppy. Met some of the other animals in the house as well, but I'm blanking on their names at the moment. Layla says, I'm using masking tape to mark my lines to do a crosshatch pattern for quilting. That is the best way to do it, Layla. Like, I do that a lot for my Holland pouches and Hemingway bags. Like, painter's tape is such an awesome quilter's tool that is so underrated. So yeah, my entries will be safe with Layla. She's going to get them there. And then my Alaska quilt is currently sitting in Arlington. I checked on it just a few minutes before going live. Leo dropped it off at a UPS store. So it is, Shelby, it has not left the Dallas-Fort Worth area yet, but it should be there later this week. Super excited for that. And then also, it might not even make it back home yet because I may have to mail it the day that I land back here in the United States. I may have to mail it out again. Like, literally, we get off the ship and I may have to run to a UPS store to get it shipped off, because if it gets accepted, it may be going to Nashville for it's the Original Quilting Sewing Expo. Their national competition is happening in the Nashville area. And if it is accepted, I will have to literally walk off the ship and head immediately to a UPS store to get it there in time. I also entered it into Road to California, so we'll see if it gets juried into there as well. Both of those shows are juried shows. So we'll have to see if it makes either of them. I just think it's hilarious that it may not come back home with me. Let's see. Banana Joe, or excuse me, Margot says you'll be able to make some pretty good half square triangles with those cutoffs. If you already said that, I was on the phone for a bit. Well, Margot, I did say that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We were talking about that. I may use the half square triangles because I'm short one block. This, with me adding the extra pieces in there, I need to accommodate for that, and I'm missing one block. So what I may do is I may take the cutoffs and make that extra block out of it. It will be well-traveled, Layla, if it gets accepted. That's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know that it will get accepted because I don't have really good photos of it right now. My photos are not that great because the only photos I was able to grab of it before it started making its journey was the ones of it unbound, so not it like fresh off the long arm, no binding. I didn't even have photos of the back of it, and one of the shows requires you to add a photo of the back. I didn't have that. It was also boxed up and already in the UPS system, so I couldn't ask Leo or anybody to take a photo of it. And the deadline is tomorrow. So, I did have to send a picture of it hanging in the show with the ribbon and the sign and all the things. So they may look, the judges may, or the jury may look at that and be like, we don't want this. So there's a whole art to taking photos for quilt show entries, and I think I broke every single one of the rules. So if it actually makes it into a show, it will be a miracle. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. The story of the traveling quilt. That is why I put air tags in my quilts, because I want to know exactly where they are. I also put a tag in the jacket that I entered into the state fair, so that way it doesn't walk off. Or if it does happen to walk off, I will know where it's at. Hopefully poor Layla doesn't get any of the "you're being tracked" notifications. Because my iPhone, if I'm traveling with somebody who has an AirTag, sometimes my phone will be like, "There's an AirTag near you." And I'm like, yes, it's Becca's. Yes. Get someone to take a photo of the quilt in the show. Well, I had that. I had people take pictures of it while it was in the show in Irving. But that's not the kind of picture you want to use typically for a quilt that's going into other shows, like the entry. So, yeah. It's fine. If it doesn't make it, I'm not upset. It's fine. It's a non-refundable fund for entry fee. No big deal. No big deal. Kind of power move to send a photo with a ribbon on it. I know. It is kind of a power move. It is kind of a little passive aggressive, but literally that's all the photos I had of it. Like, I had no other photos of it. So what am I supposed to do? I was waiting to get glamour shots of my quilt while I'm on the cruise, because like I feel like it's gonna get some really good. I may borrow Jonathan and be like, Jonathan, come help me. I need some photos. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely was hoping to get some glamour shots of it while on the cruise, and just didn't even. It didn't even quite register to take actual photos of it for quilt show entries before. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Like I said, if it doesn't make it and get into the shows, no big deal. You never know until you try. What is it? You miss every shot that you never take. Blah, 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 blah. Melody says, makes a good children's book. The Adventures of the Traveling Little Quilt. I like that. I like that a lot. Almost spooky season, so I almost get to pull out my The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt book. That almost is, it's almost time to put that back out. Someday I'll have an actual studio that I can set a whole backdrop, like a full backdrop, and do all the things with. Don't get me wrong, I love what's behind me, but I feel like I could decorate so much more and create so much more in a dedicated studio kind of space. When I buy a house. By the way, I was looking at this funny story. I was looking at I was like, oh, I wonder how much house I could afford right now. And I put all the numbers into the thing and hit the button. And it was like, you can buy a $200,000 home. Tell me where I can buy a $200,000 home that isn't a cardboard box. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Oh, Becca's here. Hello, Becca. Becca, that's so kind of you. Let's give her some air horns. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, Becca. She just gave 5 memberships. Let's see. Linda, Giddy Up and Go Melody. Let's see. Layla, or excuse me, Lady Rock. Web B, and I don't know how to say that one. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it, but thank you guys so much for all of the gift memberships. Thank you. $200K isn't, in some areas, isn't bad. It's true, Becca. It is true, Becca, in some areas, but like, I would actually like to have a house that isn't falling apart. Right, exactly. Not in Alaska, that's for sure, Shirley. Let's see here. Member Zoom, August 22nd. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Karen says that would be a small lot here in Sedona. In some portions of the South, it would purchase a lakefront Malibu home. Okay, I'll put it this way. Maybe not in the areas I'm looking for, right? maybe not in the areas that I'm looking for. I don't know. Love Loathingly says I got lucky and got mine in 2017 for 125. That's probably around 200 or 250 now. Maybe if I want to live in a cabin in the woods. Michelle says you can live in Missouri for 200,000. Wouldn't you be my neighbor? Won't you be my neighbor? Becca's texting me all kinds of things. I didn't know she was going to pop into the live stream today. I think it depends. If you want to live in big urban areas and want a single family home, you'll have to pay a larger price tag. That is true. That is very true. Becca, how's the quilt coming along? Are you quilting it? Melody says, Ian, do you need to be reminded about what happens in a cabin in the woods? No. No. Although in some of the, I was going to say something and I'm going to stop myself. I'm not going to say it. Yes, I am. In some of the books that, fan fiction and or, books in my community, like that may not be a bad thing. Sammy says, good morning, everyone. I'm listening. Packing up all of my, packing up all of my camping gear for this year since all the forest fires here in British Columbia have me canceling for the rest of this year's trips. I am so sorry to hear that. That sucks. There have been some pretty bad wildfires up there. Oh, she's picking out pantographs right now. Awesome. She got her Alaska project finished, and she is now throwing it on the long arm. And by throwing, I mean placing gently and lining up properly. But she has her Alaska project going on. She showed it to me yesterday, and it looks really good. Can't wait for her to get it all quilted up. What are the dates of the cruise? We leave on the cruise August 28th, and we return September. That would be weird to leave at the end of August and come back at the beginning of August. August 28th through September 4th. So excited for this to be my first cruise. Right, exactly, and Matt Cox. I'm headed to the cottage. Headed to the cottage. That is the cabin in the woods that I think a lot of the gay community would be happy with. I'm headed to the cottage. Anywho. First cruise, very excited. Very excited for my first cruise. Like I said, I watched that ship tour today. Gosh, that thing is huge. That ship is ginormous. When are you headed to Seattle? We're actually going to be there a day early because we've got to get set up and we've got to get arranged and all the things. So we're going to be there a day early to get everything set up and going, and then we'll be doing a quick little shop hop thing before we actually get on the ship. So we'll be doing a little shop hop buying spree, whatever. Fidget Farm says, Ian, find yourself a rich lumberjack in Alaska. I mean, did you not think that was already the plan? I definitely am ready to find my lumber snack while I'm in Alaska. He can be rich. That's fine. That would be great. Preferably, that would be great to find a rich lumber snack. That way I could sew and work on quilting all day, and then he can be the lumber snack and take care of me. That's fine. That's fine. Savannah says a whole year-long quilting cruise would be something, though, right? Wouldn't it? That would be something. All right. There are those cruises that go a year or more. So yeah, that would be a thing, wouldn't it? Having fabric delivered would be a little difficult, but I'm sure there would be ways to make it happen. Oh, I'm out of bobbin. Let's see. Let's see. Shirley says, don't forget to bring a warm hat. If not needed anywhere else, you'll need it when viewing the glaciers. Thank you for the tip, Shirley. I should probably oil as well. I'm going to grab my oil up here. What's the temperature there? Right, exactly, Benenjo. What's the temperature up there, Shirley? What's the temperature up there today? Lily says, here's what someone told me about men in Alaska. The odds are good, but the goods are odd. That's pretty funny. Here's one. Oh wait, I already read that one. I need the one after that. It would need a buddy boat for this. Right, exactly. It would need, absolutely. It would have to have another like whole ship for just the supplies. Oh my goodness, come on. Right there. Okay, there we go. Put that up there. I am going to take my machine in like shortly before we leave, like the last week after my live stream, before we actually go on the cruise. I'm going to take my machine in to get it serviced because it needs some TLC. Needs its spa day. Shelby says, when I was up in Fairbanks settling my aunt's estate, a woman told me that at my garage sale. That's funny. I had never heard it before. It's pretty funny. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to put one more drop right there. Let's see. All right, let me line this up. I gotta look under the machine. Oh boy, you are getting some lint going on down here. Goodness gracious. Linty, linty, linty. Yeah, she really needs to go in for her spa day and get all cleaned up. go. Pop that back in there like that. Trim that off like that. Put that back in there like that. Good morning, Jackie. I think I got all the way through this one. I did. There's just a hair down at the bottom that didn't quite get fully attached. So I'm gonna put a few stitches in the last one that I just did, and then we'll keep moving forward. Put that right there. And away we go. Just like that. It was almost perfect. I almost kind of won Bob and Chicken on that one. But anywho, super excited for the trip. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait. And who knows, maybe I will find my lumber snack. Odds are good, but the goods are odd. That's so funny. Shirley, I always heard that, I always heard about the ratio of men to women. The number is high because of the military base and posts. That makes sense. My grandfather was stationed in Alaska for a while. This was, I mean, very long time ago. Very long time ago, but he was stationed up there. But yeah, the ship looks incredible. There's so many things to see and do on the ship. I've never been on a cruise ship, like I said, so this is going to be a brand new experience for me, but like looking around is incredible. There's so many things to see and do on the ship. Like you could literally stay on the ship the entire time if you wanted to. Now, I am going to be going out on a few excursions, but it looks like so much fun just being on the ship. Just being on the ship. I love this fairy dust fabric. It's so versatile. There's so much you can do with it. There's so many different ways to use it, and I just love it. Shelby says, I was surprised how many flights there are daily between Seattle, where I live, and Fairbanks. Once I saw all the military uniforms, it made sense. I do believe so, Shelby. I think that would make a lot of sense. It's funny, I stopped in SeaTac when I was coming back from Disneyland, and I must have been in a different part of the airport than I had ever been in before. I've only been to SeaTac once prior, but I definitely did not recognize it when I was there, because I do remember a huge glass wall of windows when I went into the airport, like getting through security. So I must not have been in the same area of the airport I had been in originally, but I was like, wait, what? This doesn't look like what I remember it. Granted, I was only in one terminal, and I didn't I didn't have time to explore the rest of it. I literally had enough time to get from one plane, use the restroom, and catch my next plane. Like, didn't even have time to grab food. Like, literally just jumped from one plane to the next. We've Nut is asking what's the name of the ship we're going to be on. We are going to be on... Oh, bye, Banana Joe. See you later. We are going to be on the Celebrity Edge. We are going to be on the Celebrity Edge. Oh, they've been remodeling SeaTac. Maybe that's why I didn't recognize it. Granted, the last time I was there was a long time ago. I think it was like 2016, 2015, somewhere around in there, I feel like. It was a long time ago. Welcome, Leslie. I appreciate it, Banana Joe. It is a huge ship, We've Nut. It is. It is ginormous. And for somebody who's never been on a cruise before, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy big. So, we'll see how much I end up buying on the ship, too. I saw the gift shop that Celebrity has on the ship, and I'm like, ooh, I want one of that. I want one of that. I want one of that. Apparently, they even have a freaking Apple store on the ship, so there's that. Lisa says the glass wall is going towards the in gates, Alaska Airlines, and they've done a lot of remodeling. They've been, sorry, I got distracted. They have done a lot of remodeling, and they have a lot of fun things to do at SeaTac. I got distracted, and I'm going to show you why I got distracted, because I picked this up, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right. So as I was cutting out this pattern, remember, I only had fat quarters. I didn't have any extra yardage whatsoever. I literally had what I had in the fat quarter. I made an oopsie and cut one an inch too short. So I had to go and Franken grow this block. You can't tell from the front, but there's definitely going to be an extra seam in this one, which sucks. It happens. But you don't have to, like, if you are ever working on a quilt and you accidentally cut a piece too short, and if you have enough leftover fabric, you can Franken grow it back, and it's no big deal. You'll just feel really stupid for a bit. But nobody's going to be none the wiser. It blends in so well, and it won't, you won't end up having anything, you know, too outlandish that's drawing attention to it. Measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, still cut it wrong, and cry. It's overwhelming. I went on my first cruise in April, says Bobby. It definitely looks like it's going to be overwhelming for me, for sure. That first day on the ship, I'm going to be so lost. I usually get bearings pretty quickly, so it shouldn't be too bad. But that first little bit is going to be, you know, me making that mental map of everything. Anywhere I go, I make a mental map. It's just how it's just how I'm wired. So it'll take me that first day to get that map down. Leslie says, I'm so excited for you guys that you're going on an Alaskan cruise. Have fun. I want to see where you go. I'm going to do my best to like vlog it as much as possible, so that way, you know, y'all get in on the process and everything and what it looks like and all of that. So we'll see. Now, I said I wanted to vlog things in the past, and then I get camera shy in public, where I don't want to like pull my camera out and just talk to a camera in front of a whole bunch of strangers. But we'll see. Let's see. I just did something similar on a quilt kit recently. Thankfully, the fabric is busy enough you won't be able to notice. Exactly, Savannah, that it happens. Bobby says, I've done that once or twice. Liz it is says, I'm picturing a store full of apples, because, you know, Washington. Measure twice, cut thrice. Exactly. Exactly. Measure twice, cut thrice. Shirley says, I must go get ready for going away party. Have a great day, everyone. See you later, Shirley. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Joan says, been there, done that. Just franken stitch it, and you won't does it when it, you won't notice it when it's quilted. Right, exactly. Exactly. Layla says, I measure fine, but reading the instructions correctly is where I usually cut wrong. There's a good video on TikTok of somebody looking at their notes saying, okay, I need a 2.5 cut. And they look at the fabric, and then they look back at the note, and 2.5. Okay, great. And then they cut, and they look back at their notes, 3.5. What? I swear it happens. You're like, okay, I definitely read 2.5 inches. Yes, it's 2.5 inches. Look at it again. 2.5 inches. Yes, 2.5. Got it. Cut. 3 inches. What? Arrived late. What quilt are you working on? I'm working on the Fat Quarter Fancy pattern. This is a free quilting pattern. I would show it off on screen for you, but it's literally buried under all the fabric that I'm sewing at this moment. I'll show it later. But it is a free pattern if you'd like to go check it out. Weave Nut says, do you safety drill as soon as you get on? Don't be a peer runner. Yes, for sure, definitely not going to be a peer runner. I tend to, if I'm a theater kid, not a theater kid, but I'm a theater major. And so if I am on time, I'm late. So I will definitely, even if it means like, even if I know I'm going to make it an hour ahead of time, yeah, I can't be late. Can't do it. So I will not be a peer runner. As for the mustard station drills, they may, so I was watching a video and they didn't let people do that until like an hour or two on the ship. So I don't know. I've never done any of this before. So I know you have to do the mustard station things, but, I think on Celebrity, they don't do it immediately. Like they want you to do it later on in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. I don't know. Karen says, you mentioned apples. My apple tree has been really weird this year. The crop ripened Memorial Day to 4th of July, which is early. Today, I noticed that it's blooming again. Very weird. Huh. I didn't know that apple trees could bloom more than once in a season. What's the Tula line of fabric you are using? Deb, this is True Colors from way back when. This is a OOP out of print. Oh, somebody did something. What happened? Paula, excuse me, Paula just subscribed. Thank you, Paula, for subscribing. You should be able to chat here in the chat here in a few minutes. So thank you so much for subscribing. The funny thing is, Paula may not be here right now. She can't even answer if she is, but she may not even be here right now. She may be watching another one of my videos and subscribed. It just so happened that it happened during my live stream. So I don't know. She may be here. She may not be here. We don't know. We won't know for another 5 minutes if she's actually here watching the live stream or if she is elsewhere. And I do set that up to keep internet trolls at bay as best as possible. Some still slip through, but at least they subscribed. I will see the Frankengrow just because it isn't supposed to bother me. It will. Right, exactly. Like, I will absolutely see it 100%, but it is what it is. If I had had more fabric to cut, I would have cut more, but I didn't. So you do what you got to do. Savannah says, my husband got me a name tag with a seam ripper and the F-bomb for some reason. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Good afternoon, GuysCraft2. Good to see you. How you doing? Let's see. Savannah says he supports my swearing, so I can't say anything about his video game swearing. There you go. What video games does he play, Savannah? I definitely swear while playing Fortnite. Thankfully, most of the time I'm playing with adults and not children. I do try to edit myself for the children. Zaza says, Savannah, I have one of them. He supports my sewing, supports my sewing, so I don't say anything about his sailing/skiing. Let's see. Savannah says he plays Hunt. It's a spooky Wild Western Monster Hunter version of Fortnite. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I know all about Fortnite. Love me some Fortnite. Becca got me hooked on Fortnite. I'm blaming her. She's in the chat. I blame you, Becca. I blame you. She may have scrolled on. Just wanted to see if y'all were awake. Liz It Is says, I let, quote unquote, my hubby buy a new pickup truck so he wouldn't lose his mind with my quilting toys. There you go. There you go. Sorry guys, I had some of that diarrhea lettuce. so stupid sometimes. I'm such a child. Exactly, Zaza. Zaza says, Liz, I see it as if we don't say anything, then they can't either. Jonathan says, I wonder if he's turned down the volume on the super chat feature. It's not as loud. Yeah, it is down today. It's not as loud. I barely heard the one that went off a moment ago. Melody says, gotta run, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good day. Have a good day. Liz it is says, I tried talking him into a second motorcycle so that I could get another sewing machine. Oh my. Oh my. That's funny. Glad I don't have like an automotive hobby, because oops, this one didn't quite. I'm gonna try this one again because it all shifted when I went to go sew that one together. So I'm gonna redo this one really quick. Oh, don't do that. It shifted just a little bit as I was sewing it up, so I'm gonna redo this one. All right, this should work this time, I think. Let's try it out and see what happens. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. Let's see here. Zaza says, Liz, you can buy it on credit. He won't notice, and then you just say you want it. Oh no, Cheryl says, don't forget the jalapenos at Chipotle. Are they bad too? Which I don't like jalapenos, so I don't get jalapenos on my food because I'm a white boy and spice is, it can be too much. Even jalapenos are too much for me because I'm a white boy. I'm a white boy, if you haven't noticed. When I was working in the theater, I hardly ever saw the sun, and I was basically Casper, the friendly white ghost. I could get an airplane to land on the runway at nighttime. Oh, Savannah says, I saw a bunch of fruits are now affected too. Well, this is just great. Everything healthy is trying to kill us. It's great. A donut never tried to kill me. Chocolate cake. They say death by chocolate cake, but I've never heard of anyone dying from chocolate cake. Oh boy, Cheryl. Cheryl says, yes, that's what I heard on the news. Yes, I know I am from Texas, Kelly. I know I am from Texas. I can't handle the heat. Can't do it. Too spicy. Too spicy. I say that while writing emails sometimes. Delete, 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 delete. Too spicy. Too spicy. Savannah says, my donut-loving youngest agrees with you there. See? Donut never tried to kill me. Lily says, I know you made a ton of boxy pouches. I just had a request for one made out of mesh. Any ideas, excuse me, how to adjust the pattern? So, mesh would be really hard because mesh is not rigid. There's no rigidity to mesh whatsoever. And because of that, it would not work really well as a pouch, a three-dimensional pouch, because you wouldn't get it wouldn't stand up on its own, right? You could still make one, but it turns more into a bag at that point. You can't get solid sides. You can't get, like, there just would be nothing there. You could make it out of vinyl and put the mesh over it, but again, like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the mesh, right? Like, yeah. So, there's no way to really make a good mesh bag unless you're dealing with mesh that can stand up on its own. Now, if somebody in the chat has a different opinion or something that they could recommend, by all means, do it. I'm not saying what I'm saying is 100% correct and the only way, but in my experience, from the knowledge that I have, that would not work out very well. Joyce is here and says, hey, Ian and everyone, I've been lurking. Welcome. Sean is here and says, good day to Ian and all in chat. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. Denise says, you are wrong about the donut. You are type, well, okay, Denise. Shh. You are right. You are right. I was trying to make a joke. Denise, it's a joke. Oh my gosh. Jonathan says, Ian's way is the only way. No free thinkers in here. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I saw a lot of quilts from the North Texas Quilt Festival. I had several people email me and or text me photos of not only my quilt, but a lot of the quilts in the show. Lots of great quilts this year. This is one of my favorite shows. I miss going to that show because it just kept getting better and better every year. I am so happy with the turnout. I am so happy with the quilts. I am so happy with everything that I could see. Really a good show this year. So if you're ever in the North Texas area and haven't been to the show, highly recommend it. If you are looking to travel to quilt shows, I would put that one on your list. Leslie says, try using tulle or maybe 2-ply mesh. We're going back to the mesh question from a moment ago. Jonathan says, Ian is our charismatic leader and we are his disciples. I don't know about that one, Jonathan. I don't know about that one. Do. We're getting down to the last few prints in here. We're gonna have to do this again because we're gonna go on the other side too, but we're getting close to the end on this one. I mean, honestly, you could put this quilt top together in a day easily. You really could. Liz it is says, all hail Caesar. I mean Ian. Oh my gosh. Curtis says, can you use Terry magic on the mesh? I don't know. I'm not sure. I actually don't know what that is. So maybe it's possible. Try window screen for the bag. I used it for a beach bag. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Michelle. Michelle says try window screen for the bag. Interesting. It's almost time for the cruise, isn't it, Ian? Yes, Sean, we are 19 or 18 days away now. Granted, 18 days. Granted, I do get into Seattle a day early because I don't want to miss the boat. So we're getting in one day early. But yeah, 18 days. It's happening! Yeah, exactly, Lily. She says, Curtis, I've never heard of tarot. I don't know how to say that. What is that? What is tarot magic? Please explain. More info. Missing the ship would not be wise. Exactly. Exactly, Sean. Especially since, you know, me and Becca are kind of hosting it with Tiffany, so it'd be really bad for us to miss the ship. It's a starch that makes fabric the texture of stiff paper, says Curtis. Thank you for telling me about that. I'll have to check that out. Oh wait, is that? It's in the other room. I have a can of something. Is that the same thing? No. No, I don't remember what's in my can. I don't remember what's in my can. Wow. Did y'all see that lady on HSN? I think it was HSN. It was the blooper this week from one of the ladies on, I think it's HSN, was trying to sell wigs. And she meant to say a blowout, because you go to those places, ladies, and get blowouts for your hair. And she said something else. It was a blow something. Oh my God, she died on air. It was hilarious. All right, that was the last one. So QVC, thank you, QVC. Yes, I did see that one. It's so funny. It was so funny. It was so funny. Ian, I like the fabrics you're using. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that. Yep, we are going head to head. Sean and I are going ahead. Wow, there's a whole pile of fabric under my desk. Sean and I are going head to head in the doll quilt category of the State Fair of Virginia. I almost said Texas. State Fair. I've said State Fair of Texas my entire life. So we are going head to head in the State Fair of Virginia. And we'll see what happens. Becca, unfortunately, is not. She's got so much going on that she hasn't been able to get her entry done for the State Fair, understandably. So she won't be competing with the rest of us, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to. Sorry, I'm trying to like get this. There we go. Looped around. There we go. All right. we're back in business. Yeah, so Becca wasn't able to finish her entry because she's got a lot of other things going on right now with the cruise and everything else. So it'll be Sean and I going head-to-head competition. They're both beautiful, so it should be good competition. I think it will be. I think it will be a good competition. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. There's always next year for Becca. That is very true, Sean. That is absolutely true. She will just be early for 2027, right? Exactly. Exactly. Sean, I'm hoping to put my Alaska Bargello in for 2027. Because obviously it will not be able to go this year because it needs to be dropped off the same day we're leaving, so that won't work. But I'm hoping 2027 I'll be able to enter it. We shall see. We shall see. Oh my goodness. I feel like it almost makes it harder doing it this way with the other pieces still attached, but we're going to make it work. Try and rest it over here. That makes it a little better. Be home. It will be fun. I'm hoping to get more in for 2027 too. Yeah, I've got 4 items going in this year. I've got my dog quilt entry. I've got my quilted jacket. I've got my Showering Stars quilt, and then I also have my Rainbow Vortex quilt. All of those have been entered this year. Funny enough, all of them except, well, 2 of them. The quilts were made in 2024, so they're well within the time frame. The jacket and, of course, the dog quilt were made this year, so. We will see the results when they come in. I don't know if I'm going to go to the fair or not. I know Layla is trying to go to the fair at some point. Maybe I'll sneak a ride with her. I don't know. But yeah, I would like to go to the fair because I didn't go last year, but we'll just have to see how the time goes. What I may do is, well, I don't remember how long the fair runs. It's only like a week or so, I think. I forget that the fair here doesn't run like the month that it does in Dallas-Fort Worth. Ian, put them in your lap. Yeah, I could do that. But I like to play life on hard mode. Runs for 11 days. Okay, got it. Jonathan says, it's not going to win a ribbon. Ian Garland, 2026. I didn't think it would. I really didn't think it would with as many mistakes as I made in that one. Didn't think it would, but especially being in the Masters category, holy cow. Like, that blew me away. Because I'm no longer an artisan. I have to enter in Masters category in almost every show that I enter. So, yeah, truly did not think it was going to win a ribbon. I'm hoping my jacket will. I would love for my jacket to win a ribbon. I don't know that the quilts will, because I haven't had very good luck here in Virginia with my quilts winning ribbons. But my bags, got that on lock. I mean, the first and second place ribbons back there. So I would love for the jacket to win a first place. That would be amazing. Sean says, I plan to go the first weekend if all goes well. Text me, Sean. Let me know. Let me know if you end up going that first weekend. Let me know. I scoured the internet during the state fair last year because I wasn't able to go and Sean hadn't gone yet. And so I like scoured the internet for every photo, every piece. Like I looked on Facebook, I looked on YouTube, I looked everywhere for any posting about the results. And I'm not talking about like looking for the list of winners because those wouldn't come out until later. I was literally looking at photographs that people were taking in the arts and crafts building, being in the background and being like, okay, so this one won a ribbon, but oh, I think I see a ribbon on that one. Like I get FBI level of like searching or what's it called? Like reconnaissance? Yeah, I definitely am like that's honestly it's any quilt show that I've entered. I'm like the moment the doors open, I'm already scouring social media looking for winners. Sean says, me too, Ian. Sean says, I'm still chasing my first blue ribbon. I have the rest of them over the years, right? Exactly. Here I am, like, what, second year I enter and I get a blue ribbon? Enhance, right? Exactly. Exactly. That is me. I kid you not. I took photos from Facebook because I saw they hang the quilts in the air. And I saw quilts hanging over people's heads and I was like, enhance. And I'm like zooming in as far as the capability would allow to be like, is that a ribbon? Is that not? I can't tell. That was 100% me last year. Did I miss a question from Karen? Hold on. A friend of mine used to live in Vegas. She says the style of quilts there were mostly Civil War Civil War reproduction. Could that be your style? Could it be that your style is different? So good question. That is actually a really good question. Like, is your style so different that the judges don't like it? The easy answer to that is not necessarily, because again, what judges should be looking at is the quality of your work, not the subject matter, not the fabric used, unless we're talking about like super low quality fabric or something like that. I'm talking like cheesecloth. I'm not talking about like, you know, Walmart versus quilt store. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just like, is it cheesecloth? So judges should be looking at that, not what type of fabric or theme of fabric you're using. However, judges' bias can creep in there. It does happen. The North Texas Quilt Festival, I went one year and all of the winning not all the winning quilts, you could tell that a judge had a preference for Civil War reproduction and tiny piecing. It was just kind of evident with the winners. but it happens that way sometimes. You know, the judges do try to remove as much bias as possible, but sometimes it still creeps in a little bit. So, is that the reason I have not won here? No, that is not the reason why I haven't won here. What it comes down to here is the judges are looking for very specific things that I'm not giving them. One of the things that I'm not giving them, they want the corners on the quilt, on the backside. They want those to have stitching in them. They want that to be hand stitched and sewn up nicely. Sean has told me this 100 times. I don't do that. I just don't. I ain't nobody got time for that. And so more than likely my quilts will not win because they're looking for that specific thing if they want the stitching in the corners, and they're not going to find it on mine. Is that going to stop me from entering? Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm going to be excited to see what the judges have to say. I'm interested in their feedback. Whether I take it or not, it's up to me. It's up to me. Let's see here. Let's see. I need to watch. Let's see. I need to catch up to my wife. She's had 3 for her knitting. Yep, Sean, you do need to catch up to her. She's been outpacing you a little bit, so you've got some work ahead of you, Sean. Zaza says some judges try, others definitely don't. I really haven't met a judge that doesn't try. I think there is some times that bias just slips through and it happens, you know? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm distracted because I'm pulling all of this. It looks like a magician's pulling the flags out of a hat at the moment. Oh my gosh. They're all over the place. There we go. All right. Whee! All over the floor. This is why I try to keep my floor as clean as possible. But the good thing is you can wash a quilt. Don't wash the quilt top though. Whoops, sorry. Sorry if that sound went wonky just now. Liz it is says, gotta go. Time to make chicken for dinner. Awesome. Sounds yummy. Have a good day. Thanks for being here, Liz. Karen says, I started rounding corners if I can think about it before binding. So much easier. Denise says, so many entries for a show, so few spots to be a winner. Absolutely. A lot of times, I've said this here on my channel before, a lot of times, quilt judges only have 2 to 3 minutes to look and judge a quilt before they've got to move on to the next one. So they're making like super snap decisions in mere seconds. So, you know, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen where a judge, you know, may have a little bias creep in those couple of seconds. So it happens. Turn it this way. There we go. So yeah, there's some thoughts for you today. I did talk to a friend of mine who got to judge at the Texas State Fair this year, and I was like, give me all the tea. I want to know all the tea. Like, tell me everything. And it was really great hearing the inside perspective of you know, the inside process. She's working to become a national judge, basically, and so like part of her role as that is she has to, it's almost like what is it called for medical interns, or you have to do like rotations or whatever you want to call it. She has to like get practice in basically, and so she judged at the State Fair of Texas this year, and it was hearing her talk about it was so fascinating. M. Jean says, I'm judging your quilts. Perfect! I love them all. You're very kind. Thank you. So I was looking at what direction I wanted the fabric to go in. It's a whole thing. Residency, thank you. That's the word I was looking for, residency. I was like, were there an intern? But like, it's kind of hell for them. Residency, that's the word I was looking for. There we go. Line that up, and away we go. So yeah, gonna try and enter Northern Lights into other shows across the country next year. Road to California is one. Maybe QuiltCon. Might try and enter into QuiltCon if I can get some better shots, because the shots I have right now are not great. So they would definitely say no. They would definitely say no to the photos that I submitted. So I'll have to get some better shots if I get it. Want to get it entered into QuiltCon. We'll see. Be nice to have a quilt actually in QuiltCon, but a lot of times it's all about the original work, and I don't do a lot of original work yet. In the future, hopefully, that would be fun. But for now, I sit and sew in my little corner and do what I do. My butt's falling asleep. Have you ever been in a sewing, like, have you ever been in a sewing session and then your butt is like, ah, and you're like, oh, I really need to stand. Whoops. So I think Zaza picked up her new puppy. I've seen it mentioned several times in chat, but I think Zaza picked up her new puppy. Puppy? Think if Judy is saying the correct name here, I believe its name is Mabel. Mabel, excuse me. She's very cute. I haven't seen her yet. Karen says, I'm going to have hand sew this binding on a bag for about 11 inches. 4 layers of padding is too much for my machine. It happens sometimes. It happens. That's why I have my Juki. I love my Bernina. Don't get me wrong. Love her to death. But there are definitely times when I need that extra power and that extra force. So the Juki it is. For bags and stuff, when I'm going through that much, yeah. Maybell is in the building. Margot says, I dilute my Terral Magic with distilled water. Is that what y'all do? Well, with me not knowing what it was at all, I don't know. What do y'all do? Do y'all dilute yours with water? Inquiring minds want to know. So I sprayed this fabric with Best Press, and I used the rose scent. It's kind of terrible. Don't get me wrong. Love Best Press. Best Press is great. I use it on everything. The rose scent, never again. Never again. Oof, goodness. It is so overwhelming and far too strong. Cannot wait to get this into the wash so I can get that out. Aw, Charlotte says Zaza introduced us to our new puppy last night. That's awesome. I'll have to go back and look at that video. See the cute puppy. The cute puppy, not the cute puppy. How many people just spit out their water? Or their coffee, or whatever they're drinking. Mimosas? I don't know. Hate the smell of rose. Jonathan, I can't with this one. It is kind of terrible. It is so strong. It is the only one that I can recall lasting on fabric more than a day. Like, usually with Best Press, the smell lasts for a day. It's usually strongest when you press it, and then after that, it's done. This one lingers. Oh, it's terrible. It's so bad. I would honestly be happier with like bubblegum, cotton candy, anything else. Anything else. Yes, exactly, Zaza. Rose scent reminds me of looking after old ladies when I was nursing. Yes, it reminds me of my grandmother. Absolutely reminds me of my grandmother. I don't know if, like, when you become a grandmother, they give you the same perfume. Like, they're like, congratulations! This, like, mysterious person just appear. Poof! They just appear in a cloud of smoke, and they're like, you're going to be a grandmother. Here, have this. Poof! Gone. I'm sorry, guys. I crack myself up sometimes. The way my brain works, I don't know. Why did they think kids wanted bubblegum flavored medicine? I don't know, Jonathan. Why did they think they wanted grape? I can never eat grape candy now. It just, ugh, it's so disgusting. I can't do it. Jackie says, I try for unscented. The scents trigger my allergy. Some of them do that for me as well. Like this rose one, ugh, it's too much. It's giving me a headache. It's just too much. Marjorie, think that's the name. My bad if it's not. I had a lot of success making bags using a Bernina 770 and then the 790 Plus. I recently traded in the 79 Ultra. Love Bernina machines. I love Bernina machines too. They are my favorite machines to work on. Every now and again, she gives me a little bit of trouble with like really thick projects. So, you know, sometimes I have to switch over to the Juki, but 9 times out of 10, she gets the job done just fine. But sometimes I just want to get that speed and get that project done, and so I'll switch over to the Juki and get that bag done or whatever. So I love both my machines. That and lavender are old lady scents, says Zaza. Bobby says, I am a grandmother and I do not wear that scent. It is just not me. Absolutely. Absolutely, Bobby. Zaza says in Scotland, the kids' medicine was always banana flavored. Oh my gosh, I would have hated that because I love, like, banana candy flavoring is some of my favorite. So if all of it, like, became icky to me, oh, I would be so sad. I would be so sad. Denise says, what is wrong with being reminded of grandma? I don't know why you would spray fabric with anything. Nothing's wrong with being reminded of grandma, don't get me wrong. But there can be some like memories tied to that, which are not so happy. I prefer the unscented, or there's a tropical breeze one, I think is the one that it's the blue one, whatever the best pressed blue one is. But yeah, I typically prefer that one, the unscented or the island blue one, because that one doesn't last very long at all. It goes away pretty quickly. But yeah, it always sucks to have scented things sprayed on fabric. It's no. Just got a whole gallon of the Cherry Blossom Best Press. It's not my favorite, but pretty subtle. Savannah, I've used that one as well, and it is pretty subtle. It's fine. It's fine. The peach one is another one. There's like peach cobbler or peach something. And it's okay. It's a little strong for my liking. It pretty much dissipates pretty quickly too. The rose is the only one that just like lingers. Don't know why it lingers so long. I love the vanilla flavor, both to eat and incense. Well, I hope you would not eat like a Best Press. Thankfully, they don't make a vanilla, so you're good. You're safe on that one. Peaches and cream, thank you. That's what it is. Peaches and creams. Banana Joe says lavender keeps the bugs away. I also think, if I remember correctly, Irish Spring soap keeps bugs and critters away as well. Because I remember my aunt putting ivory soap into the storage bin. She had some of her fabric. I got the peach. Barb says I got the peach in the subscription box, but haven't dared to open it. It's not bad. The peach isn't horrible. It's really strong when you iron it, and then after that, it kind of dies off. So don't be afraid of it. You know, try it on a small sample of something first, and then if you don't like it, you know, give it to somebody else. But try it out. It's not terrible. It's not the worst one. Not the worst offender out there. Denise says, sorry, that is true for true hugs. My grandparents were reserved. Yeah, there can be some like negative feeling, like there can be some negative feelings with grandparents. So smelling the smells and bringing back memories of grandparents can be kind of traumatizing for some people. Even though it's like maybe a happy memory, it can also be kind of sad and depressing, or, you know, lots of trauma there. Just depends. Just depends. Let's see. Savannah says I have an EpiPen level allergy to lavender, so that's a no-go in my house. I think I found out, so I thought I was allergic to lavender. Because every time, like laundry detergent or shampoo or anything like that, like it would kind of set something off. But I think it was the synthetic lavender actual lavender doesn't do anything for me. Like, I can be fine with it. It's the synthetic. And I don't know if there's a difference between synthetic lavender and real lavender. Banana Joe's vanilla pudding, Ian, or ice cream? Oh, banana pudding. 100%. Banana pudding. Love me some banana pudding. Mary texted me the other day. Essential oil versus fragrant oils. Essential oils are natural soap maker here. Okay, there you go, Matt. So pretty sure, like, what was setting me off, I'm pretty sure was the synthetic one. I think it was the fragrant oil versus the essential oil. Oh, geez. Oh, my. Savannah says, found out in massage therapy school, I got drops of lavender essential oil on my hand and my throat started to close up. My face got really swollen. No fun. Oof. Mary texted me this week and she said, we're getting a Dutch Bros. And I'm like, I'm jealous. So a Dutch Bros is going to be opening up near her, which I am very jealous about. We still don't have one here in Virginia yet, even though there was one advertised like a year ago was coming to the Virginia area. Still isn't open. I don't even know if it's even been built. So yeah. Banana pudding and tiramisu. Yes, absolutely. Yes to both of those. Love me a good tiramisu. Where did I have a good when I went to Road to Virginia, Todd met up with some friends of his, and we ate at a really good pizza place, and they had tiramisu, which was delicious. It was so good. It was so good. They also had olive oil cake. I didn't taste the olive oil cake, but it looked delicious, and my friends, Todd, had a bit of it and said it was very yummy. All right, people who have been on a cruise, as someone who's never been on a cruise before, what is one... I'm limiting everybody to one. What is one essential item that you cannot live without on a cruise? Just one. What is, like, if I went to you and was like, you have to tell me one item or I'm cutting up your fabric. What is the one item that you cannot live without on a cruise? Guyscraft2 says, Salad and Go closed this week in Arizona. Dutch Bros bought all of their locations and will be expanding by 50 stores. That's awesome. I did see that news. My friend, who's also a Dutch Bros fan, sent me that news story, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting that Dutch Bros bought Salad to Go. That's interesting. And I wondered why. I'm like, I wonder why they're doing that. It's also interesting to me that Sweet Tomatoes, does anybody remember Sweet Tomatoes? This was a few years, many years ago at this point. There was a Sweet Tomatoes location, several of them actually, in Dallas-Fort Worth. I would sometimes go to one. There was one near the theater that I worked at. And so sometimes for dinner, I would stop there before going to work the show that night. I liked Sweet Tomatoes. It was very yummy. And then all the stores closed. Just out of nowhere, they just disappeared. Pretty sure that was pre-COVID too, if I remember correctly. Anywho, They're opening back up again. I've seen some locations in Florida, if I remember correctly. Banana Joe says, I haven't had a tiramisu in a while. Weave Nut says, my lanyard. I have a lanyard. Good to know. Joan says, a passport. No, I have that. Got that, so we're good there. Guyscraft2 says, love sweet tomatoes. There's one in Tucson now, but they have not expanded. I love sweet tomatoes. It was so good. The food was so yummy when I was there. Ugh, miss it. Sometimes you just really want a good soup and salad place, right? Like, I could absolutely go to Olive Garden and just do soup and salad. And breadsticks. Breadsticks. Maybe that's what I'll get for dinner. Soup, salad, and bread. Nope, no salad. No salad. No salad. I thought about that the other day. I was like, oh, I want a salad. And then I was like, nope, no diarrhea lettuce, thanks. Sucks for Olive Garden with their soup, salad, and breadsticks. Like, oh my God. Olive Garden may have to close. Motion sickness pills, LOL. And hello, everyone. Hello, Lynn. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining today. Seasick medication. I'm taking on three types of seasick medication. So, well, not just medication, but the little shocky, wristy, doohickey thing. I've got that. I've got the patches that go behind your ear. And then some pills. Banana Joe, you like... I feel like you would like, if you're not already, Post-Crossing, the Post-Crossing website. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. I signed up for it recently. I've sent a couple of postcards. Post-Crossing is a website where people can sign up to send postcards internationally. It's kind of a way of trying to like connect the world. And so you like get an address of they match you up with somebody, you send them a postcard, and then for every one that you send, you get one back from another person, or maybe even the same person. Just kind of depends. Banana Joe, I feel like that would be something you would be into. C-bands, the acupressure ones work well. I got the electric stimulating one, so I have that one. We'll see how that works. Layla says, a hand for the ship near any railings or step. Always have hands to hold on to the ship for everyone, not just because you're off kilter. I'm true. We all know that there's going to be a tumble for me somewhere. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We just don't know where. Hold on to the handrails. Got it, Layla. Donna says myself. Banana Joe says underwear. Yes, Banana Joe. Oh my gosh. Of course underwear. Goodness gracious. Y'all are ridiculous. I've never had seasickness. This is from Marjorie? I always said that right. I never had seasickness on a cruise ship, even when we sailed through the Pineapple Express going to Hawaii. I don't think I'm going to have seasickness, but I've never been on a cruise before, and I wanted to be fully prepared, right? I didn't want to get on the cruise ship and then not be prepared. So I am fully prepared for whatever comes my way. Hopefully I don't have to wear the bracelet, and hopefully I don't have to wear the patches, and hopefully I don't have to take the pills for seasickness, but just in case, I have it all. Because who wants to get on a cruise and then realize that you're going to be sick the entire time? The entire drawer of underwear, as is tradition. Oh my gosh, Savannah. Please don't fall. I've tried, Bobby. It's not that simple, though. It's not that simple. Banana Joe says, it is a pen pal service, but I've never heard of it. It is a pen pal service. Post-crossing. If anybody else is interested, I am on there. I have signed up, and I am actively sending out postcards. I did send one like 40 days ago, and they haven't received it yet, so I'm a little nervous about that. Imodium, good one, Donna. That's a good call out. Good call out. It hasn't shown up. I sent the person a message to be like, hey, have you received this one? Because it's been out for 40 days, and even though it's going internationally, that's still a long time. So if you haven't received it, let me know, and I'll send you another one. Nope, I lost my top thread. Hey, every trip I've taken with my husband, he always forgets to pack underwear. Oh my god. How do you forget to pack underwear? Like, that is like one of the first things that I check. Maybe not the first thing that I pack, but it's like the first thing that I check when I'm rechecking everything to be like, did I get everything? Do I have everything? Believe me, people do forget underwear. I'm sure it happens. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it happens, but I'm just like, that is like the first thing that I check. Did I pack underwear? Yes. Did I pack enough underwear? Yes. The good news is the ship does have laundry service, so there's that. If unsure about seasickness, says We've Not, take something before you leave, post, and then see how you go. Don't leave it until you feel sick. That's a good call out. I've heard people saying that before. Like, don't wait for seasickness to happen. Take it before. Bobby says, I felt a little wobbly when the boat left the port. I always forget to pack pajamas. Well, Layla, the good thing is, usually when you're wearing pajamas, you're by yourself. So, usually, that's not a problem. Just keep the windows closed. The blinds closed. Bubble wrap Ian for wherever he goes. Oh my gosh, y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are ridiculous. Lori says, stay away from the infirmary at all costs. Super sickies in a weight room. Oof, yuck. Yuck. Yeah, I don't plan on going there. Don't plan on it. Let's see. Sammy says, hey, don't this. The comment on underwear is unwarranted. Every trip I've ever taken with my husband, he always forgets underwear and his toothbrush. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. That is crazy. Hey, it happens apparently. It happens. I have been proven wrong. Da, 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 da. 40 days is a long time, Bernanjo. I agree. It is. I think it's too long. I think something's happened. The quilting... Ginger? Yeah, there it is. For me, booking a cabin as close to the center of the ship mid-deck. Makes sense. Take vitamin C. Yeah, I definitely will be taking vitamin C. Marjorie says there's a great quilt store in Sika? I don't know how to pronounce that because that is probably a indigenous name, but I don't think we'll be stopping. I don't think we're stopping there. Could be wrong. But we are going to a store, I think 2 stores actually in Juneau, if I remember correctly. 1 or 2 stores. Good shoes for walking. That's a good one. Wash hands frequently. Hand sanitizer. Use the back of your hands to open doors and push buttons. I always use my knuckle when I'm pushing buttons, like elevators and stuff like that. I use my knuckle. Yeah, I've heard a lot, like hand washing everything. A friend of mine just got back from a cruise, and a couple of days after she got back, she was sick. Thankfully, it was just a cold. It wasn't anything too bad, but it happens. Sammy, I hope I didn't offend you. I'm a little worried that I offended you with your comment there. So sorry. I apologize for that. If I did. Uh-oh, did I? Okay, I think we're good. Savannah, yes, emergency that's happening like when I hit the 14-day mark every day. Every day. I did buy a new pair of shoes. I bought some waterproof ones. I've been breaking them in. So that way I'm not like breaking them in on the cruise. Because that would not be good. Almost to the end. I can see the end. I can see the end of my fabric. Margot says, I have a doctor give me a prescription for a patch that goes behind your ear, just underneath the hairline. It is the only thing that has ever been effective for motion sickness. I think I got like fabric dust kicking up. Here, Nani. Hey, I read it correctly, though. Bobby says they had this person at entry to each food bar that made everyone wash their hands. Good. Okay, all right, cool. Sammy, I couldn't tell for 100%. It's hard over text sometimes to get the tone of how people are saying things. So I was like sitting here going like, did I offend her? Yikes. Just the way like sometimes, you know, people say things, I'm like, ugh, did I do something bad? I can't tell. I can't tell if they're like, I can't hear the tone, right? I can't hear the tone of voice, which makes, you know, things so different sometimes. Something that you're like, oh, ha, ha, ha. They're like, no, this is serious. And it's like, oh, my bad. Quilting Ginger says, also, I go and buy at least 2 prepaid $500 credit cards to use while I'm on land so that I can leave my debit credit card back on the ship. Oh, that's a good idea. Good shoes for walking is a must. Absolutely. Denise, you live with a person long enough, you know their shortcomings, so you go behind them and double check. There you go. You're like, ah, I knew he was going to forget his underwear again. What was Becca doing the other day? It was hilarious. There was something that Becca was doing, and I literally saw the moment her thought bubble just disappeared and she was on to something else because she was needed to do something. Oh, we were playing Fortnite. That's what it was. We were playing Fortnite. And I could hear in her voice, that's what it was. I could hear in her voice that she had completely forgotten about what I had said 2 seconds earlier and was off like shiny thing. And I was like, Becca, you forgot to come get this, whatever it was. And she's like, oh, right. A hat and a coat. Are you stopping in Victoria, BC on the way back? The Butch Gardens is a wonderful excursion. So we are going to be stopping in Victoria. However, we're doing a whale watching tour. So I don't think I'll have time to do both, unfortunately. I would love to do both. I wanted to explore a bit more, but unfortunately, I think it's just going to be the whale watching. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for. Medicine, prescription, and over-the-counter. Absolutely. Don't want to forget those. A lot of times when I'm packing, I will pack everything and then I'm like, what I absolutely double check is if I have the essentials. Glasses, medication, things of that nature, things that can't be replaced. Because I can go somewhere and yes, it sucks having to buy a completely new wardrobe. Or yes, it would suck having to buy every single pair of underwear that I needed for something. But I can purchase things, right? Like I can absolutely purchase things. So if I get to Seattle and I'm like, oh no, I forgot my entire wardrobe. I have no clothes. Does it suck spending the money to do it? Yeah. But can I purchase everything that I need for clothing and stuff like that? Yeah, I can. It would suck the bank account like crazy, but at least it can be purchased. Prescription medication and things like that, not so easy to replace. It is doable. It is doable, but not easy. Mom and I opted out of the whole of the... Melissa meant to say whale watching, but she accidentally typed wheel watching. Mom and I opted out of the whale watching to go see the gardens in Victoria. You'll have to show me photos. I would love to see them. I would love to go into and do more, because there was also a Tim Hortons tour thing, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, and then I was like, oh, we got whale watching that day. Phone charger, good one. Phone charger, absolutely. But again, the good thing is you could purchase one if needed. A very good watch to tell you time to get back to the ship. Banana Joe, absolutely. There's going to be a timer set, and I'm going to be like, okay, and go. Dang, voice to text. I get it, Melissa. Trust me, it's gotten me more times than I care to admit. Zaza says, I usually always forget my hairbrush or something similar that I need to use the day I leave. Yeah, I've forgotten a few things every now and again. I forgot. So my toothbrush has this little thing that can stick it to the mirror, and I accidentally left that in a hotel once. It's like a $5 piece, so I replaced it. I was like, it's not even worth calling the hotel for. I was like, nah, that's fine. But yeah, I've done little things like that. When I was a kid, I left a flashlight under a bed, and the people were kind enough to return it. But it wasn't a hotel. It was kind of a hotel, but not really. It was on a dude ranch, so like, kind of like a mom and pop run. I don't know how to describe it. Put an AirTag or something, other tracker on tracking device in every piece of luggage that will be flying. Yes, that has already happened. I always have AirTags in every piece of luggage. Absolutely. Because now you can share that with the airline and hopefully recover your bag more quickly. All right, that was the last one. Make sure you set it to the correct time. Very true, Bobby. Very, very true. Let's see. Make sure your watch is on the correct time. Pack essentials in your carry-on. My coworker just spent a week on a cruise with me. Luggage was lost and never found. Oh no, Lily. Yikes. The Sun Catcher Creates. Sorry, I had to find the letters. Hi, Ian. It's been a long while since I've been able to make it. Hi from Arizona. Hello. How are you? Good to have you here. Unfortunately, you've come at the end of my broadcast. We just finished up sewing all of our pieces together. So I've got this big long, chain of blocks that now need to get trimmed. So that will be the next step. Obviously, I'm not going to do that on live stream today. That's going to be my homework for this week. Hopefully, when I join you next week, we'll actually be sewing blocks together and creating the quilt top. So I'm going to work on this during the week, so that way I can get some finished quilt blocks put together. This is such a simple pattern. It goes together very quickly. You see, if I wasn't talking, I probably could have gotten that done in an hour and a half. Super easy. And yeah, it's going to be great. So we'll try and work on that some more next week. And in the meantime, I hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy the rest of what's left of your weekend. We'll have more fun next week, and we're getting dang close to this cruise. Let's go. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. I love each and every one of you. And remember, guys, normal is just a setting on the dryer. I'll see you all next weekend. Bye, everyone.